to a draw, and it can be an extraordinary place. And you've got to use it. Scotland have got to use it again at the weekend here. So it's been a great night. It's been a big night for Scotland. Any fears that the downturn has started? Well, we'll put the brakes on that one. And I suppose Stevie Clark was talking about earlier on. You stalled, but you started up again, and that's the important thing.
Didn't they just? Scotland with a 3-0 win against Ukraine. Time now to touch on England. They face Italy at the San Siro on Friday. Commentary of that one's on 5 Live Sport. Build up from 7. England then host Germany on Monday in their last competitive game before the World Cup. Let's hear from Jack Grealish. He says he's not impressed with criticism aimed at Gareth Southgate, despite England failing to win any of their Nations League games in June.
I think it was harsh. Obviously, the final last year and then the Hungary game at the start of the last camp. I think before that, the last time we'd lost the game was in over 90 minutes. I don't know, I think maybe it was Belgium in November. So, I think it was very harsh, and especially the World Cup and the Euros of how well the team done and the manager himself. I thought it was obviously harsh, but yeah, I think that's what sometimes you get, if you're English, and I've certainly had my fair share.
Ian Dennis, does Gareth Southgate deserve criticism after those games in June, particularly the defeats by Hungary?
Well, I was at Molineux that night in the 4-0 defeat against Hungary, and I would agree with Jack Grealish. I thought the reaction was harsh. I thought it was an overreaction. It wasn't a full-strength England side. Yes, it was a poor performance and obviously a very poor result. But they weren't at full strength. It was at the end of 4 games in 10 days. I don't think it gave you a true reflection of where England are at. And I also think that what Gareth Southgate has achieved for England, he should have enough credit in the bank for a blip that it was against Hungary. So I would agree with Jack Grealish in his comments from a personal point of view.
James, you talked about Lyndon Dykes not playing well for his club, not playing at times for his club, and coming away and getting that special feeling when he plays for his country. It's not by any stretch a direct comparison to Jack Grealish, but can he be the main man for England in a way that he can't in a Manchester City team of superstars?
I think, he can be more himself and play the way that he wants to play. And be, off the cuff, the maverick, exciting player. And I'm not saying that he's not allowed to do that at Man City, but they've got a definitive way of playing, and you have to, do your job for the team. Whereas Jack Grealish is seen to be that creator for England. That guy that will do something a little bit different and just let him play. Having said that, one of the criticisms of Gareth has been that he's been too defensive in his approach, and at times maybe pulling the reins and not allowing the players to go and express themselves. But I think that you normally get players coming out to defend a manager. Of course you do, but when it's a player that and Jack Grealish, he tells you that he does enjoy it. He does want to go and play for Gareth Southgate and play for England. But that is the nature of it. The Nations League, going back to the question that you asked Ian, the Nations League for Scotland is massively important because you get your playoff, you get your better seeding for the qualification campaign, and you get it's better games, competitive games. For England, they qualify for every tournament at a canter. It's games that they probably don't need because you go and switch it up. You play a team against Hungary, you try players in different positions, you lose and you get criticised for it, of course you do, but you're trying to find players that are going to play. You can't use every game competitively. For Scotland, it's massively important.
The trouble is, though, I think Gareth Southgate has actually been pleased with the Nations League campaign because England have been playing a better quality of opposition. They've been tested more. If you look at their record, it actually isn't very good, but they've learnt more from it, from a Euro qualifying campaign or a World Cup qualifying campaign where they're playing a San Marino or whoever and they win 10 out of 10. The fact that they're testing themselves against the better opposition, Gareth Southgate as a manager is actually benefiting more from that, despite the fact that the nature of the beast is that the defeats or the indifferent performances bring with it criticism.
Yeah, but you would never play two friendlies back to back, Italy and Germany, leading into a World Cup, because they wouldn't play each other. So you're absolutely spot on. They get a chance to test themselves. They get a chance to try different systems, different players, and it is competitive. And that you can't replicate that for a friendly because you make 10 changes at half time. It takes the flow out of the game, and all of a sudden the exercise is going after an hour anyway. Whereas these are proper games, and as a player, for me, you've got a chance to go and test yourself against the best. You want to at the very least, maintain your league position in that pot A. But you want to go and play in those finals as well at the end of the season. I know that's the last thing anybody wants is extra games, but you want to be playing against the best players and the best teams.
James McFadden, Pat Nevin, after a 3-0 win for Scotland against Ukraine, we won't make you talk about England any longer. Thank you very much for your company this evening. Thank you very much as well to Ian Dennis. Just to remind you,